Okay, and as someone was just asking, these sockets that we're using here, these are Berkeley standard sockets that date from the really early days of the internet. And as we can see, that's TCP. All you're doing here is sending SYN, SYNAC, ACK to make connections, and you have to manually connect and manually close and tell it when to receive things and so on. And it turns out to be a pretty awkward way to do HTTP communication. So we're going to do HTTP now here. And first, we're going to do it with raw sockets. So then we'll use a better method later with the requests library that is much easier. So let me get out of here and let's make head.py. Okay, what this does, it imports the socket library, it creates a socket object and tests the timeout, and then it does a connect, just as before, to a target we define here on port 80. So this is the thing we did before in port scanning that would then freeze up, because even though it connects, the server does not reply to this. What you have to do is you have to connect and you have to send it a properly formatted HTTP request. And here is the simplest HTTP request. It is a head slash, then the version of HTTP, which is 1.1, then a carriage return line feed. Then you have to give it the name of the host you're trying to talk to, which has to be the URL from up here, and then 2 carriage return line feeds at the end. So this string is a proper HTTP request, and that's what you have to send the server, or it won't answer you at all. So I save this, that's head, and now run that. All right, and it connects to my server, and when you send a head request to a server, what you get is no web pages, you just get information about the server. This is the header content that comes in to tell your browser what's going on. The 200 is the status code. 200 means it understood your request and it's sending some data. 404 means it couldn't find things and so on. There are other error messages. Then it just gives you the date and the server version and so on. All this is information that your browser gets, but does not present to the user. So that's the simplest method showing HTTP in action. Now, let's try doing a get login. If you go here, there's a page to log in, and I'll make it big. If I log in with A and a password of B and log in, it says login rejected. You sent AB. Okay. Now, this particular case, this login is done right here in the URL. Let me just put it in a text field so we can see it and make it big. All right, this is how it works. This is, by the way, considered a very bad way to handle a login. It just puts the parameters right here, username and password, right there in the address bar of the browser. The reason why this is not a good security measure is that contents of the URL itself are saved in server logs, and they're saved in favorites in browsers and so on. They're not handled very carefully. So you really shouldn't have sensitive things like passwords right up there, but the protocol does allow it. All right, so we're going to try logging into this page. All right, and you can capture it with Wireshark. This is one way to do it. Let me start Wireshark. Wireshark catches raw network traffic, and it's one way to do it, but it only works well for plain text traffic. So I'm going to start Wireshark sniffing on my network adapter, which is the wireless card. And you don't have permission, so I think I need to start Wireshark as an administrator. So I can do it here. I'm going to make a new session and sudo Wireshark. Okay. All right, I may have a problem sniffing on this machine. This may be a limitation of Wireshark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deviate from that and go to the browser tools, which we're coming up with later anyway. I'm going to demonstrate it a different way, which is probably a better way to do it anyway. So I would like to see the request that loaded that page. Here's my login page, okay? And well, the only reason I was using Wireshark was to see this request and copy it. You can get it from the browser tools as well. So I go to View Developer Tools. These are in Chrome and also in Firefox and in many browsers, although not in Internet Explorer or Edge. Now I can see information about it, the network traffic here on the network traffic, hit preserve log. Now I can log in with the username of A and a password of B. I log in and it will show me the request here. If I click on that, I can see the request and I can view source for the request headers. And here you see the actual request that was sent. And I'm going to copy and paste it into my text editor to make it bigger and easier to see. There. This is the GET request that did that login. And I saw a chat message. Let me see. Try Wireshark GTK. Oh, good. Someone knows how to use Wireshark on the Mac. Good. Anyway, I'm just better to do it this way anyway, because this works for HTTPS, which is what almost everybody's using, and Wireshark doesn't. Anyway, so now I have the GET request. So having that, I should be able to make a page that logs in here. Let's see if I can. Okay, I want to use GET to log in. Okay, head to GET. Okay, I want to make this file. So I go here, I'm going to copy head to GET. All right, and nano GET. Okay, so here's how you make a connection. And here is the request. So I'm going to have a request equal to that stuff I just got from the browser tools. So I do request equals quote, 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 and quote, quote, quote. You can use triple quotes in Python to put in a multi-line string, which is what I'm going to do. And so what I copied from the browser, from the developer tools here, is what I want to put in there. There. So now I have the whole request in there. Now, one thing that is very annoying, it used to be in earlier versions of Apache that this would work. But in modern versions of Apache, it won't, because every line must be terminated with a carriage return and a line feed. And this is only one of those things. So I have to go back and paste in \R at the end of each line. So I have to manually put that in, and that kind of undoes most of the convenience of using a multi-line string, but that's the way it is. I need a \R at the end of every line, and Control E takes you to the end of a line in nano. All right, and I think I need one here too. See if that works. Now I'm going to, this is request. And now I'm just going to send that request. Okay, that might work. We're going to see. Well, it's not going to work because it got to go to a different URL. I got to go to PHP login1 PHP. Oh, no, it's there. Okay, it might work. Target1.bound consulting. Let's see if it works. Python 3 get. Okay, it timed out. I need another carriage return at the end. \R. Okay. I need this. Have another carriage return. 2 carriage return line feeds at the end. Otherwise, it won't see that the request has finished. Okay, now it worked, but you might not know that because it can't print out the string. And the reason it can't print out the string is because if you look here, the browser understands compressed data. So it allows to send zipped files back. But my Python script does not understand compressed data. I could write a Python script that unzipped it, but what's a whole lot easier is just remove this line. Then it will not accept compressed data anymore. And now I get a response I can read. I get readable HTML. So now it says login rejected. But it did understand me. And up here, I got a status of 200 OK. So now I've sent a valid login request to the server and got a response. And that means what I'm doing is writing my own browser in Python. So that's a start. Now I get a readable response. So now we're going to try a post. So let me get rid of this one. And if you go to the post here, again, I'm going to log in. And I'm going to view it in developer tools. Since my Wireshark wasn't working too well, and the developer tools are better anyway. Okay, now I log in with, say, A and B. And log in. Okay, and here's the request. And here's the source for the request. And once again, I'm going to just copy it all and put it in my text editor so we can see it easier. Put it down here. There, this is a post. In a post request, you do not put the username and password up here in the URL the way you did here. Instead, they go at the bottom after a blank line. And they'll be here in a separate area. This is, the data should be somewhere in here. Yeah, payload here. View source. This is what the data looks like. Again, I'm going to copy it and paste it into my browser. There. That's what you do. You have the post request here, and then after that, you have a blank line, and then you put the parameters down here. And the point of that is they do reach the server, and the server can tell that you want to log in, but they are not stored in the server logs and other foolish places. So I just need to use that for the request. So I can go here, and I can say copy get to post.py and look at post. All right, and this is what I want to put in instead of that stuff for the request. I can get rid of this old stuff. Okay, now I need to get rid of the accept encoding. And now I need to put in the \R's everywhere again. Oops. Control E. Okay, I don't think I need one at the end of that last line. We're going to see. Okay, it worked because I got a 200 OK. It understood me. It still rejected me because I don't have the right username and password yet, but it did understand my post request. So now you can solve some challenges. Here's one where you have to send a post and you have to have username, password, and user agent specified here, and then you'll see a flag. And then you can do a brute force where you try 100 logins with 2-digit numbers with a loop to find out what the right 2-digit number is. And then you can try basic authentication, which encodes username and password in base 64. And then eventually we can move to HTTPS, which is what I've just showed you, where you have to use developer tools instead of Wireshark. Like I say, it's a better procedure anyway. So when you're using HTTPS, you can just use this tool the same way. And now you've got some more challenges here to log in various ways. All right, I'm going to stop that one.